So we'll keep it reasonably simple this morning, and we're just going to work on bringing the awareness down into the body with the notion that the body is the more yin aspect of our being and existence, and awareness is the more yang aspect, and the union of the two is a reasonably prudent thing to work on, even in a very simple form. Um, and so this descent of awareness has a few little keys. The main one being, just letting a few more people in. The main one being that it's a very fine line between having the awareness remain in the mind and look down on the body and scan it, versus uncoupling or unhooking the awareness from the mental processes and letting it kind of soak down directly into the body. And how you know the latter will be happening is the direct awareness, first of all, has a sense of origin about it. It's like where you're aware from will shift. It won't feel like you're behind your eyes anymore. It will feel like you're actually directly in your body. And because awareness itself has no particular qualities, it can feel something like silence or emptiness invading your body. Or invading is maybe not the right word, because it's not a negative thing. It's soaking through the body. Let's call it that. It does tend to operate with this fluid dynamic. So this feeling of soaking through um, is usually very prominent, um, and it'll move kind of on its own to a degree. So what we're going to do today is use the mind to set one parameter, to give a boundary, and that boundary is that the awareness will stay in the physical body, but we're not going to do too much controlling of it. So let's get started. We'll settle into our comfortable physical structure. You can use whatever posture you like. If you want to use like one of the mudras, you're welcome, or just rest your hand on your lap is generally a very good idea, so you're not getting distracted by your hands. Just take a moment to settle first. And in this moment, we're not doing anything in particular, just settling out of what we were just doing, allowing ourselves to naturally prepare for what we're about to do. And in this preparation phase, this non doing, we'll really not have any intent at all. Not trying to achieve anything, not trying to accomplish anything, just resting essentially. You might find naturally the qualities you've been working on kick off of their own accord. Don't suppress this either. Naturally, there might be some movements of mind, thoughts that go, what am I meant to do? Don't suppress these either. Just non suppression and non indulgence. You will start with the structures of the face and head. So bring your attention to what the face feels like, what the skull and the scalp feels like, what the jaw feels like. where this all connects to the neck. The primary cue we're working with here is to unhook awareness from the thoughts and mental movements and release it into the physical structures. Let it soak in. Like we had, like our body, our physical structures were a sponge, and the awareness were water. We were just pouring the water into the sponge, letting the sponge slowly fill up with water. Do not rush this process. Let the face, the skull, the jaw, the ears, the temples, all of this region, the visceral felt sensation of this region slowly fill with awareness. Notice if you're visualizing any region we work with that is a mental movement. So unhook from that, release down into the physical structures and let the awareness soak in. You won't spend too much time in the head. So continuously including the head, but expanding our region now to include the neck. Just let the awareness continuously soak through the head and neck now. And just let the awareness keep pouring in, soaking in, sinking through the silence, moving everywhere, making contact with all the feelings of the structures. And if you find yourself talking about what you're in contact with, this is fine. It's just the awareness kind of tangled on a mental movement. Just unhook from this, release down into the physical structures. And you may have to repeat that a whole stack of times. Notice that any apparent stress about whether you're doing this process correctly or not is also a mental movement. Just unhook from this, release down, and soak into the physical structure. It's as if our awareness had mass, and we're getting as much of this mass into the body as possible, like a liquid, something like this. But some of it is still caught on mental movements, mental activity, mental structures, which is what they really are, even though they move and change quickly. So if new mental structures appear that are holding awareness, this is good. This is the identification of more of this mass. Unhook from that and sink it down into the body. Every time you notice any awareness on mental activity, just unhook from it, sink it into the body. letting it soak through the face and the neck. You may find a feeling of fullness starting to appear. The awareness, as it fills the structure, kind of might make it feel like it's pressurized or trying to open, stretching from the inside somehow. In the same way that a water poured into a water balloon kind of stretches the skin of the balloon. So you're not actively doing anything with the structures, you're just pouring more and more awareness into them, into the head and neck. And let it now continue to spread to the top of the shoulders, the deep front neck, collarbones, the traps, without being too specific for the region. We're just including a bit more. Anytime you notice any mental activity, no matter how long it's gone on for, it's unhook from that, release into the head, neck, and top of the shoulders. Neither adjusting the structure nor preventing the structure from adjusting itself as it fills. Notice any thoughts about being good or not good at this process. Recognize that they are just more mental activity. Unhook from them. Release the awareness that was bound to them into the physical structures. It's like a constant release of awareness from any mental activity into the physical body. Let it start to include the upper chest, upper back, and upper arms or shoulders. So, again, the direction we're going is just a downward soaking. The same way, if I had a sponge and I was pouring water into the top of the sponge, the water would just slowly soak down through the sponge, even though I were continually pouring it in the top. This is the idea that the awareness is releasing from the mental activity in the head or above the head, down through the physical structures, and just let it continuously pour down. As the awareness saturates the physical body, it's going to start to highlight things that were hidden, deeper tensions, old hidden scars. Can get reasonably uncomfortable. This is a good sign that you're doing it correctly. Again, don't make any movement to resolve anything you run into. Just simply will let the awareness continue to soak through these things. We are neither pushing the awareness to go deeper, nor are we preventing it from soaking in more. Continuous release of awareness from mental activity into body. Let it soak down further to include middle chest, down towards the elbows and the arms. Still soaking down from the head and face and neck and shoulders. Pouring in the silence, pouring in the stillness of awareness meeting the activity of the perception of body. Letting the awareness soak in, get thicker and denser inside. There is nothing special to do to find this silence. Everyone has access to it. It is simply not mental activity. So anytime you notice mental activity, unhook from that and release yourself down. Pouring yourself down through the body, letting yourself soak through the physical structures. Letting the awareness slowly soak through the diaphragm, down towards the elbows, and the upper abdominal cavity. Filling down into the middle and lower abdominal cavity, down through the forearms. Continuous release of awareness from mental activity into body. Allowing the awareness to pour in and soak through. Down through the lower abdominal cavity into the hips now. And also moving down the forearms towards the hands. Again, don't be too pedantic about these regions as just a general soaking downwards. So as long as things are soaking downwards, it doesn't really matter the specific order. Anytime any mental holding or activity is discovered, just unhook from that, release down, and soak into the body even more. as if all the mental activity were little water balloons that were just bursting and what they were full of. The awareness is just falling down like water, soaking through the body. Let the awareness move now through the pelvis and hips, soaking through the thighs toward the knees. Continuous soaking through the head, neck, shoulders, upper body and arms, middle body, elbows, lower body and forearms, down through the hips and the thighs. Anytime you notice yourself looking at this process from in the head behind the eyes, just unhook from here and let it soak down. Down through the knees and the upper part of the lower legs, calves and the top of the shin. It's as if any distraction that arises is an opportunity to harvest more awareness, to unhook it from there, to sink it down into the body. Let it start to soak through the lower part of the lower limbs down towards the ankles now. And then feeling the heels, the arch, the blade of the foot, the ball of the foot, and all of the toes. Finalizing the contact with the entire body. So now we have the entire body awareness continuously pouring from the mental structures into the body, feeling everywhere. Just let the mass of awareness kind of move how it will, spread how it will. Various parts of the body getting thicker with awareness. Now no longer in a kind of order, just letting the awareness thicken wherever it needs to thicken, fill more wherever it needs to fill more in the body. Still continuously releasing the awareness from the mental structures to achieve this. So it's like the awareness is free to go and fill various gaps that we missed on the way down, in whatever order it may want to fill through them. So just notice that when the awareness isn't controlled, it's perhaps contained within the body, but beyond this, not controlled. Just let it soak into and move through whichever parts of the body the awareness deems fit. Again, this comes naturally off the back of unhooking from various mental structures that are trying to give commands to the awareness. And just letting the awareness that was bound in those mental commands release and soak down into the body as well. Continuously letting the silence soak in and fill every single nook and cranny in the body. And as the silence of awareness fills the body more and more, notice that it can decentralize, that you don't have to be aware from somewhere in particular. You can just be aware from everywhere in the body. If you find yourself looking down on the body from the brain behind the eyes somewhere, again, just unhook from here and let it soak down and through. You may need to repeat that cue quite regularly. Do not prevent the awareness from soaking into any regions of the body, but nor do you force it. Both of these controls, at any rate, would come from mental activity. So if you notice either of them, just unhook from the mental activity and continue soaking into the body. The nature of awareness is open and luminous. Open meaning it can contain anything. Luminous meaning it lights up whatever it contains. So we're just letting this open, luminous quality soak through the body. Just let it soak deeper and deeper into all the little hidden crevices and cracks and tensions. Aware from the silence, as the emptiness. Being aware as the emptiness, as what is essentially the awareness itself. Know that all these temporary sensations coming into the awareness as this process goes deeper cannot touch you, cannot harm you as great silent awareness. May in and of themselves be rather intense. But this intensity does not do harm to the silence. We're letting ourselves as open, luminous awareness, silent as well, soak deeper into our physical body. If some of the perspectives I mention aren't available to you, do not try and force them. All you do is continuously release awareness into the body. And all this requires is to notice that mental chatter is not awareness. So if you find yourself aware of the body with this kind of judgment or commentary about what's going on, it just means the awareness is tied into a mental activity. Unhook from here, soak down into the body. The direct contact between pure awareness and the body, marked by the fact that the pure awareness is silent in its nature, but the silence is aware, does not need to refer to the mind, to the mental activity to be aware. You do not need mental commentary, observations, or conclusions to know something in awareness. Let all of these go. And let the silence be directly aware of the body soaking into the body. Notice that the deeper the awareness goes, all it continually finds is more of itself. Notice that you are this awareness, so it's yourself, diving deeper into yourself, discovering more of yourself. Yourself inherently already and always whole as open luminous awareness, but also already or constantly, you should say, discovering more of itself in the various forms that the luminous awareness takes as it gets deeper into the body. So then as the very last step, release any and every constraint, intent, attempt to do anything. You do not need to keep the awareness contained in the body any longer. Let it move freely through the body, mind, and otherwise. Let it approach a mystery, if it might. In other words, just let yourself as awareness be free. Don't need to notice anything in particular. Be as you already are, aware of what already is. No constraints, no intent, although mental activity may spontaneously arise as intent. Just let this be something else the awareness becomes aware of. And then slowly let go of the practice altogether. Allowing yourself to return to the more mundane parts of your being at the moment. Stretch, do whatever you need to do. And we'll finish there.